Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Wine and welcome back to art class. This week, our learning target says I can overlap and blend colors to create new colors inspired by the sky in the wish tree. So let's take a look at some vocabulary that we learned about last week. Last week, we started talking about different colors. We talked about two color groups. We talked about the warm colors, red, orange, and yellow. And we also talked about the cool colors, green, blue, and violet. You also watched a video and then practiced blending and overlapping two or more colors together. So we learned we could mix orange plus red, and that would give us a new color. We also learned if we were working with crayons that if we mixed blue and violet, we would get a different color. We talked about how those colors would look different depending on whether you pressed hard or whether you pressed soft. So this week, we're going to take that practice and put it to work. I want you to think about how the sky looks in different weather and at different times of the day. Have you ever looked up at the sky just as the sun was setting or the sun was rising and seen the sky look all fiery warm colors like reds and oranges and yellows and pinks? Have you ever looked up at the sky and seen that it's not just blue, but also violet and pink? So just like the sky in the book, The Wish Tree had different colors, we want to create a background for our artwork that has a sky that is a really interesting color group. So I want you to think about what kind of a sky you want to create for your final artwork. Look at the colors that you practiced with last week. Choose one of those color groups that you think will make an interesting sky. If you're not sure, go back and practice a few more colors before you choose the colors for your final artwork. And then you will need to gather your supplies. If you are blending colors of crayon, you will need to get some crayons. If you are blending colors using watercolor, then you will need to gather your watercolor supplies. Once you have your supplies ready, then you are ready to go. Here are some examples of some different skies that could be created. All of these were created using crayons. So you could be a little bit imaginative if you want. I'm not sure if I've ever seen clouds that are orange, but for this artwork, that would certainly work. I will also give you a tip. If you are working with crayons, you might want to gather a few colors that you want to use, break them in half, and peel the paper off so that you can use the flat edge of the crayon. Now, when you are ready, just like last week, there are a couple of different videos for you to choose from. If you are going to overlap and blend different colors of crayons, I want you to watch the first video that I post on Classroom. If you want to create your sky using watercolors, you will need to make sure that you have a pretty thick paper so the paper doesn't get all messy and wrinkly. And you will need to make sure that you have watercolors at home. If you're working with watercolors, you may watch the second video. This week, you do not have to turn your artwork in, but all you have to do is watch the videos and create your sky. Then, once you are finished, you can use this show and grow rubric to give yourself some feedback. What should you be doing using the different art elements? For this, you're looking to see how you blend colors. Did you blend 2 or more colors to create your sky? Is your whole page full of blended colors? Look at neatness. Are those colors overlapped so that they blend smoothly from one color to another? And don't forget, a good artist also puts their materials away properly. So if you're using paints at home especially, make sure you clean up your paint mess. And finally, I'm looking for your creativity. Were you able to use either mostly warm or mostly cool colors to help express a mood or a feeling in the setting? Does it look like a warm day or a cool evening? Once you are finished with your sky, you have one more thing to do this week. Watch the second demonstration video, and you can see how I used a second white sheet of paper to tear some organic shapes to create some clouds, or how I could tear a long piece of white paper to create the ground. This week, you're just going to tear the paper and experiment with it and save it for next week. Do not glue it down yet. Once you are finished, hold on to your background sky and to your white cloud papers, and you will learn what to do with them next week. I hope you have a wonderful week and keep on creating.